So, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hopefully, everyone is having a wonderful evening, and the best podcast on the platform is back again. The Real Talk podcast, not the Fake Talk podcast, not the Muppet Talk podcast. It's called the Real Talk podcast. I look like I've caught the sun real bad today. I can't lie. I'm looking a bit salmon. Yeah, I'm looking like a salmon right now, and yeah, it's all good. Well, listen, red to go golden eventually anyway, and Golden Child FC will be back again. But Jez, how you been, man? How's your week been?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Yeah, good week. Yeah. No complaints. It's been a fun week, and it's all happy and bringing it on for tomorrow.
Yes, West Ham away. Kenny, how's your week been, mate?
My week's been fine, like I said, there's been I've been a voyeur because, I don't know why I put myself through it. Every time I watch the Champions League, I think, oh, the love of God, that should be us playing those in the semi-finals of the Champions League, a big club like the Arsenal. So it really hurts. Plus, I had a few work stuff, which has gone well. Apart from that, I'm fresh, ready for this podcast. Don't worry, Lee. If people slag me off and start insulting me because I'm friends with you, don't worry, mate. I won't dump you because guess what? I can take it because I've got a big heart.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. I genuinely don't care because they all watch it anyway. They all watch it and they make their own podcast about it. It's actually insane, really, how gargantuan this podcast is. But there we go. It is what it is. Oh, one thing before we get into this. Big up to Carlo Ancelotti today. That washed-up manager that Arsenal fans didn't want, and he's just won the league in Spain. He's now the first manager to win the league title in the big 5 leagues of Europe. That washed-up manager is still also in a Champions League semi-final, 1 goal behind Manchester City after leg 1. Mad, really, isn't it? Who knew? What did he do at Napoli? They were telling us. What did he do at Everton? They were telling us.
Let's say one thing, right? Let's be honest, right? He overachieved at Everton to get them 9th place and get him close to the Conference League. After we've seen what Arafat put up with and what Big Frank's putting up with right now, he deserves a medal for getting them that close.
Shows how good a manager he was to keep them up in the middle of the table when they're actually not that great. Mad, really, isn't it? And just on them real quick, Everton. Do you think they're going to go down? Because Burnley won again today. Burnley have got a nice little cushion now.
Yeah, I think they're done, sadly. I like Everton Football Club. They're a proper old school team, and the ground, sorry. Sadly, they're done, mate. I'm sorry to see this. I don't think they've been relegated, have they, since the 50s or something? Something like that.
Well, back in the day, when Liverpool got promoted in '62, Everton were the team, the biggest team in Merseyside in Liverpool. So, I think a Premier League, is it for Man City or Leeds?
Gabriel Jesus just scored a great goal.
Oh, Jesus Christ! So the player that Arsenal fans want, but for a club like Everton, first and foremost, is a shock in itself. They've come pretty close to relegation in '94 with Harry Kendall, and then after they got Mike Walker in charge. But to face it, can you imagine a Premier League without a Merseyside derby? No, me neither.
Yeah, it'd be mad. It'd be actually insane. The thing is, I like Everton's ground. I've been a few times, and I like it. I think it's a nice little stadium. The only reason I want them to go down is so Lampard never gets another management job. If I'm honest,
his Uncle Harry will get him jobs as long as he wants. Uncle Harry's one of the best PR merchants for his nephew, isn't he? Got that 100%.
Fly. Yeah, 100%. He'll get another job. He shouldn't do. He shouldn't have even got that job. Like it's mad. Like I don't really get it, but this job's for the boys, I suppose, isn't it?
Football's always been like that. The same managers always find you work. Gary Monk was one of those players. So Allardyce, Pulis, all of them always lose their jobs and get another job right in the corner. It's the way of the world in football management.
Big Sam as well. He's another one, and he always gets another job. Mad, isn't it? Big up to everyone watching live. Make sure you are smashing the likes up, people. And I'll get Jez's channel pinned to the comments in a second. And somebody said my hair's looking good today. Mate, my face is, I can't believe how bad I've caught the sun. Literally, it looks like I've bathed in tomato sauce or something. Like, I am so red. That's
put some sunblock on next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should do. To be fair, I don't normally use it, but I didn't realise. Look at the state of me, mate. Oh my God, my hair's super blonde as well now. Couple of hours in the sun and my hair's bright blonde. It's mad, isn't it? But yes, I will be using lobster. I will be listening. I can't even speak. A sunstroke, maybe. I will be using lotion next time. But we do have a game tomorrow. Before we get into that game, let's talk about Gabriel Jesus, because he's just scored another goal. He scored 4 the other day. He's scored quite a few goals in the last 5-6 games. And he is a quality player. I like him. But you've got to ask yourself the question, why, number one, does he want to leave? And why, number two, would he choose Arsenal and want Arsenal? For me, that's like, people are saying Mikel Arteta. I'm just watching Jack Grealish getting pelted with paper. He's got to take a throw in and all the fans are throwing paper at him. But yeah, why would he take a step down from City to come to a club like Arsenal? Like, I don't care whether Mikel Arteta's got the pull with him or not. Surely that would show a lack of ambition for him, Jez, yeah?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. Gabriel Jesus, unless he's looking at it as a retirement fund, well, let's be honest, Arsenal are the retirement home for players. I just don't understand it at all. I can't give you an answer, Lee. But then again, we're being linked with PR Rashford. Who'd be better in politics. Let's be fair. And I'll make this prediction that Edu, with his marquee signings, that he stated, Arsenal are going to make some marquee signings. It will be Gabriel Jesus, and it will probably be PR Rashford. So don't get hyped up, people, for next season, that we're going to get in world-class people to bring us through the Champions League. Because if we do get there, I'm not going to repeat myself because it's boring, but I question something in the fact of why would Jesus want to come to Arsenal? I don't get it.
I don't get it, Jez. I think he's already won 3 titles. Yeah, he's about to win a 4th. He's gonna be 25 in the summer, I think, or 25 this year. So he's still relatively young. I don't understand why he'd want to leave Man City. Like, even if they go and get Erling Haaland, for example, Mahrez is 31. He can play right wing, Jesus. He's done it quite a lot this season. And Erling Haaland is not going to play every single game for Man City. I don't care how good he is. Even De Bruyne don't play every game for Man City. So I don't understand where that story's come from. Maybe there is truth in it. Maybe we will get him. Listen, I hope we do, because he's a quality player. Yeah, but I just don't see it. What about you, Kenny? Do you think that there's truth in it, or do you think it's just another link to make Arteta look good?
Look, the thing about it is, journalists, and 9 out of 10 times, is that back in the day, the demand for stories, wasn't as great, as it is now. Because I think the pressure on journalists right now, they got to have a story every 24/7. And, the natural link for a lot of, journalists would be Jesus to Arsenal, because the fact he's worked with Arteta. It's any one of us could come out with this story. You know what I mean? Because, it's obvious he's not happy, because he's not getting first team football. He was meant to be the heir apparent to Aguero, but that hasn't materialised because City have more or less played with a false number 9. And, so obviously he's not going to be happy. So you don't really need to be, like a revolutionary journalist to come out with that. And also the Arteta angle as well. But in terms of like players like, Jesus, the thing about it is that, with World Cup coming up, would he want to go Arsenal? Maybe. If he's getting first team football, then obviously it's no brainer. Obviously, another angle we could talk about as well is the Martinelli angle. Obviously, he's got people from Brazilians like live in London because obviously they can. There's a massive Brazilian community amongst London football, especially Chelsea as well, London club, maybe a few at Spurs as well. And most importantly, he's got Gabriel and Martinelli there in order to sort of, like encouraging, to come to the club. So it's not a tangible link. It's probably, like I said, made up, but the connection is all there. It's imagined. But for me, I had my eyes on someone else. Let's get it right. I still, maybe people agree with me, and I respect their opinion on that. But something about me looks at Tammy Abraham and thinking, yeah, I know he's ex-Chelsea, but I look at his experience and how he's learnt his trade, and I think maybe he might have missed a trick there. But who knows? Maybe Italian football's a lot easier than the Premiership. But who knows? I'm thinking of Ivan Toney as well. I think I've kind of gone off the idea of Watkins because I don't think he's had a good season. But Tony, one of those.
Well, today, and if we're going off of past performances, you're only as good as your last according to this fan base.
Of course. But Watkins, I think he's in and out of form, and he hasn't been a consistent.
Whilst he's only bagged like 8 goals this season, which is
whilst I think Tony's done has impressed me a lot more because Tony's probably hasn't had the pace of Watkins, but there's loads of other attributes that I like. So those sort of strikers I have been looking at. But Hazelstad's got good movement. He would bring something, but let's face it, he's not the kind of top striker I had my arm. But I could be easily persuaded.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting because like I said, they rotate their team so often. And there was a comment just from Jack saying he's not an out-and-out striker, is he, Jesus? So would need another player.
Yeah.
But then again, we'll probably sign. We'll probably sign up. Why the fuck are you ringing me? We'll probably sign up Eddie and Ketia.
Under no circumstances must that happen. Sorry to cut you, Lee, but under no circumstances must Eddie and Ketia, El Neni and Lacazette be given new contracts because that's definitely not their way forward. Respect to El Neni because I think he's been excellent in the last 2 games. Eddie Nketiah is finding his feet. But I'm sure people play their best football when there's no pressure on them. I'm sure Jez will agree with that because Arsenal have been great at that, especially under Arsene Wenger. But in terms of giving these guys new contracts, I won't be persuaded. I'm sure there's someone who was on a podcast earlier today would definitely disagree with my viewpoint about giving them certain players new contracts. You know what I mean? But that's something that happened. Obviously, we'll probably get into this a lot later. But if we're looking for a striking option, I think it's a massive, massive cop out if we're, extending the contracts for Nketiah and Lacazette.
Yeah. No, mate. This is the thing. That's what I said about you're only as good as your last game, which is why Ollie Watkins is now a great player. I'd take Watkins anyway, regardless. But I think that some of the just coming back to what you said about players potentially being offered new deals and our fans going over the top with them. Eddie Nketiah and Mohamed El Neni are 2 players that are not good enough for this football club. Yeah. So why? And this is why I get the ump. Yeah, because people don't mention them all season. Yeah, literally like nothing said about them all season. Yeah, they have 2 good games, and all of a sudden it's give them a new contract. Is that how easily please you? Like, 2 good games.
What's the difference between that and going from their sort of like standing position 2 weeks ago when we lost week and a half ago when we lost 3 consecutive games? They were ready to go for the manager's head. Then all of a sudden, when we're winning, it's all of a sudden, right? We're in the sort of red corner with giant haystacks and blackjack mulligan, whilst they're in the side of Big Daddy. You know what I mean? Like some sort of wrestling thing. So it happens. Players and managers, fans base their opinions on euphoria of a win or a loss.
And that's fact. Rand said this the other day. He said, like, people take like the last game that a player plays or the last game that the team's played, and that writes off anything before that. Yeah. So if you've won, against Chelsea, we win against Chelsea, like we did. Doesn't matter about the 3 losses now. We beat Chelsea. And it's like, you do realise that's not sustainable over a whole season, didn't you? But unfortunately, this fan base have been conned into thinking 4th is so good. Like, they've been conned into thinking that Champions League is the be-all and end-all. Yeah, we never won it with a better team. Yeah, we never won it with the Invincibles, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so what makes anyone think that this manager is going to win it? And if you don't think he's going to win it, why do you want him here? Because we've gone through this a million times before, and it gets boring saying it over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, we were supposed to be competing with Bayern Munich, and Barcelona and Real Madrid and teams like that. Yeah, and since we've moved to this stadium, we haven't. And people can sit there and blame that on the Conkeys all they like. The Conkeys didn't have a single share at this football club when we moved into that stadium. Yeah, so what was the actual game plan? Was we moving to compete, or was we moving for that from a global audience? Yeah, because
the thing is, Lee, I mean, it's this. You banged it right on the nail of the head. I was having this discussion last night on another channel, and it highlighted the fact that what Arsenal went out to achieve by knocking down Highbury, moving to this stadium, and in my belief, I'm sorry, I have to say it, it's a heartless, soulless stadium. Call me old-fashioned, I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, we have achieved absolutely zilch with the promises that we were given, that we were going to challenge with Europe's elite. Now, let's put it on the table. We played against Bayern Munich, and been done 10-2.
15-3 over 3 games. 5-1 3 times in a row, Jez.
Huh?
5-1 3 times in a row we lost to them.
Yeah, I'm talking about one season.
Oh, sorry, yeah, one campaign, yeah.
One season, 10-2. Is that competing with Europe's elite? I don't think so. And I constantly see this bullshit of the Arsenal fan base. Not all of them, but a lot of them. We get the Champions League, yeah. Oh, they scored again. We get the Champions League.
Proper team, yeah.
And we are going to compete in Europe. Wake up, people, with this manager, this squad, and I do not believe that we will improve this squad in any great ability or depth at all, because we are stuck with a rotten fan base, and I will say rotten, and we are stuck with a rotten management basis who all they want to do is try to paper over the cracks, and it's bullshit of 150 million, is absolute shit. Ain't going to happen, people. Wake up. And when you see these, every season we see it. We see it every season that, we're linked with him, we're linked with him, we're linked with him, we're linked with him. Who the fuck do we ever buy? Nobody.
It's so true. Jez, every summer, right, I do these transfer videos, 3 a day. Yeah. And that 3 a day for 11 weeks. Yeah. And every day, each 3 of them are different players.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with these transfer videos, the thing that Des is talking about, a lot of these, like commentators and journalists, that, I think, let's be honest, they know their football, and a lot of it's common sense. I don't think it's sort of speculation they're giving. They'll ask maybe someone from the club, are you interested? And the club won't give them a concrete answer. They say, well, every player's under consideration, and that we trust the word of our manager, and our manager's working increasingly hard to get the players. So they don't say no when these journalists ask them questions. People like Wheatley, Watts, Benj, and all that. So what will happen is if people like Benj, Wheatley, and Co don't hear the word no, then that's when they present their story. So using genuine common sense, because they're thinking, well, hang on here. It's obvious that if they've watched all their games, which they're paid to do anyway, and they get, free grub from the club anyway, which is a fact. I've seen the grub they get. I wouldn't touch it with basketball, but anyway, the fact is,
do they get pork chops, Kenny?
Well, I don't know, man. There's a few pork chops in the fan base who are in the freezer waiting to go on a barbie. So if they want to keep on giving me stick, I'll put them on a barbie. But anyway, the fact is that common sense from us who are not journalists is, we need a right back because we want them right back in the mould of Alexander-Arnold. We want Cover Fettini. We need 2 strikers. Come on, if you're a journalist, you're going to just look at A, B, C, D, E and put the story out there because the club are not going to tell you you're wrong, are they? They're not going to give you that information until you proved your worth and they said, right. They may give you little bits to keep you sweet. So, by the way, this guy's been sent at a training ground, blah, blah. It hasn't been done yet, but there's been talks and they're ongoing and they're going quite well. That's the standard speak, really. So that's what you're going to get all summer.
The thing is, these people that sit in these press conferences and sit in that journalist zone, they're not journalists anyway. Yeah, they're not. You've only got to look at some of the questions they ask the manager. Yeah, it's all premeditated, pre-thought out. It's not. They're not journalists. A journalist's job is to probe and to press, and then when the person replies to you, you then probe and press some more. Yeah. Instead, this lot are just going, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. Then it's on to the next question. They don't actually challenge the answer that the manager's given. They put a question to it. Give an example. What about Granit Xhaka's Renaissance? What the fuck is that question? Yeah. Then they were asking about what are they asking about the other day? They were asking about somebody else the other day. Can't remember. It was nothing to that West Ham press conference was one of the worst I've ever seen, by the way. Yeah, that was disgusting. Some of the questions were just laughable, like literally just laughable. Yeah, and it's like, but then they ask a question, Arteta comes back with the answer after going around the houses, yeah, and confusing everyone with all this gobbledygook he speaks, yeah, and then it's on to the next question. It's not actually, no, Mikel, I want to know this. Because they're not journalists, they're just yes men. Yes, okay.
Well,
yes.
I think what it is, Lee. I think managers like Arsene and Sir Alex have basically given journalists such a beating, horsewhipping that journalists are scared to upset managers nowadays. And I think,
that's their job.
Yeah, definitely. But we've been used to like people like Mike Sadler and Harry Harris, Mahir Bose. Those kind of journalists, like the 2 Custis brothers, Custis. We've been used to those kind of journalists who did ask the top questions. But those journalists, if they're still writing, they're not as prominent as they were before. We've got a younger range. People like Darren Lewis as well. We've got a new wave of journalists right now who basically have got a lot of competition. The money's not there because what's happening right now is because people like Lee are taking food out of their mouths. And you are. Let's face it. You and all your YouTubers are taking money and food out of journalists' mouths because a lot of people now, young people now, want their football, want a staple diet of YouTube videos, 2 or 3 a day, and they want them to speak the language they speak. You know what I mean? It's which kind of YouTubers get the views, which ones haven't. Plus another thing as well, a lot of people's ambition, despite what you and Chiggy's always say, is to get into the mainstream media. So once they get there, they're not going to upset no one because, they're not heavyweights like, me and Jess used to be used to. Remember, Jess? You remember those journalists I mentioned, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's true. The only one I've seen that's actually really quizzed Arteta this season was Gail Davis. And that was the opening press conference of the season. Yeah, she had notes from his last press conference of last season saying, Mikel, you said on the last day of the season before this game that the summer was going to be this, and this. Now we're sitting here before the Brentford game. How much of this, and this do you think you've actually achieved? And he was like, he didn't come back for months, mate. Then the other day, she interviewed him, yeah, and he started talking over her and said, I haven't got a striker that can score 40 goals and belittled her. Yeah, but he shut her off halfway through the question. Yeah, and it was just like, that is what these managers don't like being challenged. They don't, but the club don't like it. The club don't allow it.
Lee, the thing is, I'm going to quote somebody here in your chat, is they don't believe in what this is about. There's a guy here, and I'll call him out. Cole Loss. Honestly, he says, honestly, man, they're talking things they don't know. I mean, come on, don't talk when you don't know what's going to happen. The thing is, my friends, Lee, I, and Kenny have seen this for far too long. So we know what's going to happen. And the only process with Arsenal Football Club currently is a lack of ambition and a lack of investment in players to take Arsenal to where Arsenal Football Club should be. Now, if you want to educate yourself, my friend, go and watch my History channel, because you will see how Arsenal progressed by ambition.
Yeah, facts, absolute facts. The thing is, these football clubs are smart, because they've realised that the global fan base is bigger than the local fan base, right? So they've realised that very quickly, and the easiest way with social media to manipulate and get people on board is via the mainstream journalists that are not journalists, they're puppets. So now what they do is, like you said, Kenny, you see them having their food, it's free. They get access into the press conferences. That ain't a press conference. That's just a PR session. Yeah, and oh, we're going to boost Granit Xhaka's confidence this week. Oh, we're going to boost Eddie's confidence. Oh, we'll boost this player's confidence this week. That's all it is. Yeah, it's just a confidence thing and a PR exercise. We see that with the questions they're asked, right? So the easiest way to do that is via the mainstream, yeah? But if you give the mainstream a little snippet here and there, like the Thomas Partey deal that Wheatley got, or the Josh Kroenke interview that Ornstein gets, yeah, you're keeping them on side constantly, aren't you? Oh, I got the breaking news on that. Look at me. Yeah, then their followers go up. Now it's 50-50 for each of them, isn't it? 50-50 for the journo side of it, because they get unlimited access, and they'll get a little story here and there and a little exclusive. But the club know that between them journalists that go in that press conference, they've probably got about 6 million followers between them over all platforms. So now it's very easy to push that narrative that the club want out via these people to then convince people that this is what the club's doing. The fact and reality is, we're the third biggest club in the country. We smashed a beautiful stadium down when we were one of the best clubs on the planet already at the time, right? And we moved to this stadium to compete, apparently. Well, start competing then.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, when you let's face it, the buzzwords in '98, when obviously you heard the rumours, because obviously in '92 they started with the bond scheme, you know, that West Ham did, which got rejected by West Ham fans, and then we always got the impression that, you know, Highbury was too small in terms of the pitch and everything, and we're about moving. And then when Wenger came along, when we started playing expansive football with players with pace, the buzzwords were, in order for us to compete with Man United, we need to have a bigger stadium so we can get as much capital as Man United in order we can compete with them on the transfer market. That's what we were told in '98. This was '98. There were programs being made on, you know, on Carlton TV, which is the local TV around here in London, where there were residents objecting to the fact that we wanted to update Highbury and put more seats in. They were talking about moving to Wembley, and the buzzwords were always to compete with Man United, because Man United, you know, were in an area of you know, Greater Manchester near Salford and Trafford, where they were an industrial area where they can put as many seats as they want to increase the capacity of Old Trafford, you know, which probably needs knocking down now. But they had that advantage, which we never had. So the Emirates was always about competing. How it's changed, I just haven't think. People are going to say, well, yeah, Chelsea moved the goalpost and Man City moved the goalpost. Fine, but let's face, maybe they did. But people don't realise how much money this club has made. through not just from the fact that they've got an extra 22,000 fans in the stadium, so match day revenue. They're in the Champions League for 20 years, which means they've, out of all the clubs, all the big six, we've spent the longest in Europe in the Champions League consecutively than any of these clubs. So where's all that money gone? Where's this money gone?
In Wenger's back pocket and on dross like Xhaka and Mustafi.
Yeah, because people.
Mesut Ozil, sorry to cut you off, Kenny. Yeah, Mesut Ozil, the day that we signed that guy to the day that he finally fucked off out of this football club, cost his club 153 million quid.
We thought we were getting it. We're all well. Obviously, I wasn't at the stadium. Wish there was, but we're all, Arsene Wenger. When Arsene Wenger had that twinkle in his eye, said, "We got a present for you, Mesut Ozil." Like I was doing cartwheels when we got him. I was so happy to get him.
Yeah, same. And he didn't want to be here. Me and Rance were talking about this yesterday. It was the same with Di Maria at Man United. And funny enough, Ancelotti kicked them both out. Yeah, and when Ozil left, it was a choice of Ozil or Di Maria had to leave that football club. Yeah, and whoever done the best in the next 3 training sessions was staying. Yeah, that's why Mesut Ozil ended up at Arsenal. Yeah, nobody else wanted him, so they kicked him out. They wanted Gareth Bale. Yeah, and it was a choice of Di Maria goes or he goes. Yeah, and it was based on that end of that week's training sessions. Yeah, and then obviously Di Maria went to Man United, and again, nobody else wanted him. Nobody else was in for him. Yeah, and if you've gone from Real Madrid to Arsenal and Man United at that time, yeah, it weren't the Man United that were all singing, all dancing, was it? And they're even worse now. But if you've gone from Real Madrid, where you're playing with world-class players every week, to Arsenal and to Man United, sorry, mate, your heart's never going to be in it. Yeah, because you think, and you will look at it and think, well, it's better than nothing. I'm getting paid a lot of money. But look how quick Di Maria got himself out of there. Because he didn't want to be there in the first place. Mesut Ozil was just happy to take the paycheck. Yeah, and our fans got all giddy over assist stats and created chances stats. Yeah, the fact is, he never lived up to the hype, and he cost his club 153 million quid.
Should have. He had the ability. With the ability that player had, he had the ability to take us to unreal heights. He had the ability to attract bigger players who were desperate to play with him. He never delivered. The only time that man delivered was off the pitch with the merchandise. Apart from that, what he delivered was a myth in people's minds that, if you don't rate, well, it's a bit like the myth of Arteta. He's another coaching myth like Wenger, where if you don't rate Arteta, you don't know football. If you don't see what Ozil does, you don't know football. Well, I'm sure a lot of us were going home and away watching Ozil, waiting for him to show us what we don't know about football.
We've seen that geezer sat on his backside crying like a girl at Anfield, mate. Like, come on. Yeah, every game in the Northeast or Northwest, he pretty much never turned up. I think he scored against Newcastle once. I was at the game. Him and Xhaka both scored that day, funny enough. But pretty much every game up in the Northwest he never even went to. And if he did, he didn't turn up on the pitch. Yeah, just embarrassing. But that's where the money's gone. 150 on him, 150 million pounds with transfer fees, add-ons, wages, agent fees, image rights, 150 million for that. Yeah, now adding Granit Xhaka, now adding Mustafi. Yeah, now adding all the other dross that we bought over the years. It soon adds up. And people will sit there and blame the owner for that. Yeah, well, the owner, fair enough, he does employ these people. Yeah, but when you've got an owner that don't know nothing about football, yeah, and then you've got Arsene Wenger basically controlling that football club top to bottom, yeah, and always trying to look for the cheaper option when ultimately it wasn't cheaper in the end, was it? Because if you buy cheap, you buy twice. We could have gone and got N'Golo Kante for 32 mil, but we signed Xhaka for 35. Yeah, because the package overall with wages and that worked out cheaper for Granit Xhaka than it did for Kante because he was going to get paid more money. It's like, who would we have rather had? Yeah, but now this lot have made him player of the fucking month. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the PR pushed out for this guy, right? And he got player of the month. All of these biggest accounts on Instagram, I've seen them going nuts. Yeah, obviously I'm not on Twitter, but Instagram, I've seen so many of them. Granit Xhaka has never been voted player of the month in 6 seasons at Arsenal. Vote for him. Yeah, he's never been voted player of the month because he's shit. That's why. What he's got? He gets Player of the Month. Yeah, he gets Player of the Month for April. What did he do in April? Lost 3 games and scored 1 goal.
Well, he nutmegged the Chelsea forward in the build up to the second goal.
Sorry, I forgot.
And he scored.
Fans.
And he scored from 25 yards. And remember, there isn't a midfielder in the Premiership. You know, people can't think of a midfielder in the Premiership with that ability, with that left foot to find accurate passes.
Fucking David Silva's fucking left-footed, isn't he?
Oh no, but we're at the present.
Not David Silva, Bernardo Silva. Fucking, I get all the Silva. Bernardo Silva is probably the best left-footed player in the league, other than.
Well, remember, Granit Xhaka is our midfield, and don't argue with the experts and who do clickbait on Twitter.
Let's call them hipsters. Yeah, they all sit there with rulers and calculators on match day, and fucking spreadsheets. Granit Xhaka is one of them. I'd take Jon Jensen over him.
Well, one thing about Granit Xhaka, right? There's no doubt, right, that he is what he is. I was talking about my brother about it. Granit Xhaka isn't a bad player. He's a deep line midfielder, and I keep on saying to him, does he? But he does. He's all the things you want him to do, Ken. He does well. And I said, yeah, I know, but what we need is a bit of athleticism in the midfield alongside Thomas Partey. That's not personal. It's Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka will be a fantastic player when he goes to Roma or he goes to Bundesliga or any league, because there's a specific role for him. But in terms of what we need, is he going to win us a league? And I think when people talk about identity at this football club, right? And Neville Southall had this right. Because remember, Neville Southall says an Everton player should be a player that can win in the league. Now, Neville Southall, right? They're going to say, what's Neville Southall saying about an Everton player? I'll tell you who Neville Southall is. The best goalkeeper I've ever seen, British goalkeeper I've ever seen, better than Shilton, and won 2 league championships at Everton under Howard Kettle. So he's got a right to say that. So with Arsenal, the identity of a player that we should be looking for is a player that can win us a league, not a player who's good enough and steady like Granit Xhaka. If whoever's Arsenal manager, it's Arteta or not, we should be getting players with the identity who can win us a league and challenge the Champions League, at least get us to the semi-final. That's the identity. There's no good saying Arteta's got his own identity. This one got an identity. There's only one identity. Win us the bloody league.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like when you hear, oh, it's a good, happy camp. I don't give a shit if it's a happy camp. It ain't a fucking winning one, is it?
No.
Yeah. They might be happy because they're all nicking a living. Yeah. Before we get into talking about this West Ham game, because we're going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes, people. Yeah. I just want to share this real quick because obviously we have won a couple of games. Let me find it real quick. Hang on. Where are we? There we are. I've got it. Right. So we've obviously won 2 games in a row, which fantastic if you're happy to finish third loser. But obviously, the most easily pleased fan base on the planet will then get served up more gear. And if we come out of this, hang on, where are we? What have I just done here? It's on a loop. What is this fucking website? Let me refresh it. All right, okay. Where have I gone? There we go. The culture wear, new culture wear range is out. Shop now. So we've had 2 wins, and now you can go and bag yourself an Arsenal culture wear windbreaker, which is going to be fantastic in the winter, which is in about 7 months, 6 months from now. But you can get that for €77. The shorts, the culture wear shorts, €53. Anyone? €53 plus shipping. 53 fucking euros. Are you taking a piss for a pair of shorts? It's unbelievable, isn't it? The shorts are more expensive than the t-shirt.
Look, you got to realise, Lee. As long as yeah, but Lee, as long as the Cronkies are here, they're no different to their compatriots in South Manchester. You know, when a club like big clubs like Arsenal, Man United are not winning, then the next vantage point or vantage position is merchandise, and that's the thing. We're going to smash the merchandise for it because, as you said, the people who are going to buy it are people who do not have the opportunity to come and watch us week in, week out, and get up early in the morning to come and watch us. Let's face it, as you said, you keep on saying a global fan base is the ones that are keeping the club in the reddies. Well, fan channels in Nigeria at the moment, because as we discussed 2 weeks ago, their reach towards British Arsenal fans or London Arsenal fans is no longer there. Arsenal fans are rejecting the channel, so obviously during a football season, which they would never have done before, they got a massive traction in Nigeria. So they're off in Nigeria. Well done to them. I respect that, because that's what you should be doing, because it's the global fans that have kept the channel relevant. No different to the Arsenal Football Club. The global fans are the ones that are keeping the club in the stars, and we're attacking that market just like Man United's market. But all I am saying is you can make 10 times that money if you start winning trophies. You start winning the league and start being in the Champions League and actually trying to win it. You make 10 times that much money.
Mate, it's actually mad. It's mad. And the funny thing is, it's called culture wear. The new culture wear range. Yeah. Is that because we changed the culture? Somebody said to me the other day that Arsenal have had 7 kits this season, right? 7 drops of merch. Yeah. I think it's more than that, if I'm honest. Yeah. I think the only team that have actually had more than us this season is Napoli. Yeah, and both clubs don't fucking win anything. Yeah, it's actually fucking insane when you think about it, isn't it? It is. It really, really is insane. And people will go out there and buy it. Mr. Waffle sums it up perfectly. It is buzzword wear. Yeah, culture range. Oh, the new culture range. Yeah, now all of a sudden, they've changed the culture. They've got a culture wear. Yeah, turn it in, man. If people can't see this, then sorry, you are thick. But anyway, F that. We've got about 10 minutes left.
Kenny, Lee, do you actually agree? Do you actually agree with what AFTV are doing in this Nigeria spin?
Well, yeah, the thing is that they'll be fools not to, because simple reason is that they, if you look at what AFTV are doing now, they have to, during a football season, they wouldn't have done that. During the football season, had maybe their views not gone over, but it makes sense. They do. I suppose their watch-alongs are more successful than their match day, like interviews. So obviously, it's going to make sense if they go to an area where they got a massive support, i.e., in Nigeria.
Do you agree with it?
Well, to be honest, I can understand it. I understand why they've done it, because I understand it. In fact, I'd be fools not to do it, because during a football season, a big game, film themselves watching it. I think I can understand it.
Let's just cut to the chase. The only reason they're going is because they're being sponsored to go there.
If
a sponsor comes in and says, "Can you come to Nigeria?" then of course you're going to go, aren't you?
It's so bloody fake. It is so fake.
They wouldn't have been. Let's be real. They wouldn't have been going if them 2 sponsors weren't paying for it. It's as simple as that.
No, of course they wouldn't.
If 2 sponsors come in and want to offer to pay for a whole trip, then I get why they're doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, because you don't do nothing for nothing, and they've been banging on about the sponsors a lot. But if they were smashing the views with the fan cams, I don't think they would have gone, because it's something they've never done before. They've never gone to, abroad during a football season. They've always gone abroad when there's been a sort of when there hasn't been a game, i.e., we've taken a week off because of the FA Cup or something like that. That's what they've gone. But during the football season, it's quite extraordinary.
Dubai trip or something.
Yeah, or when they went to like the Mardi Gras in New Orleans. But there's one thing about it. One, Jez is right. It's the sponsors, it's money, and their fan base. Most of the fan base who hate our guts, by the way, slag us off, are in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Look at Jez. Have you been coated off?
Just this comment very quickly. You guys are taking this overboard. What a claim! How can you claim that the club has lost British fans? Where did we say that?
I never said they didn't lose British fans. What I said.
Nobody on this channel, mate. I don't know if you want to rewind it. Nobody has said the club have lost British fans. What we said was there's more Arsenal fans globally abroad than there is in England.
It's a fact, though.
England's a tiny island, mate. There's about 60 million people that live in England. How many do you think support Arsenal?
No, but I think. Yeah, but Lee, I think this guy, what he's done is that he's taken out of context when I said about Arsenal fan TV that they have lost their support amongst hardcore Arsenal fans and British fans, and most of their fans are global. I never meant Arsenal Football Club. You need I think, mate, you need to listen to the whole context or rewind it. I never said Arsenal have lost, British fans.
Absolutely. That's the point, Kenny. People don't listen.
Exactly.
You put out an absolutely concise argument that if people weren't so reactionary and actually listened to what we say, what we're saying is, my argument is that what AFTV have done is purely and simply for money and views. Because as you quite correctly said, their fan base, and I don't look at them very often, I'll be fair, they get a lot of abuse now on their channel, especially idiots like Ty, Julian, and that James and everything. All they're doing is playing a game. That's all they're doing. And I go with it. I don't agree with it because I think it's absolute proper bullshit. But, if you have that much marketing and you want to earn that much money, then you're going to play absolute bullshit. I'm sorry to all the AFT fans. They are bullshit. They're fake. They don't know fuck all about this football. I tell you what, I'd absolutely love to get on a few of them on this channel and question them about Arsenal. I'll tell you what, they wouldn't have a fucking clue.
I'd rather drink bleach if I'm honest, yes. But let's talk about West Ham tomorrow. Yes. Obviously, they've got Frankfurt again. They're losing that game. How they were losing that game, I have no idea because they should have been dead and buried. But they have lost it, the first leg. A lot of speculation they're just going to rest everyone and go for it on Thursday again. I'm not convinced by that. Yeah, I know Wolves got slapped by Brighton today, but if they lose to us, they're still not guaranteed to finish in Europa League or in Conference League next season. So they're kind of where we were with Emery, trying to get in that top four, but trying to win the competition as well. They've got a choice to make. Do you think that they're just going to rest everyone and keel over for us, or do you think that they're actually going to go out and have a go against us tomorrow?
They'll go, man. They'll go. The only problem with West Ham, mate, is they got no defence. So even though we're going to the London Stadium, it's going to be a tricky one. We have, and I'm going to say this, we have got to go out and absolutely put them under severe pressure. Because if we keep putting them under pressure, we don't sit back, we'll win that game. Simple. Because they've got no defence. And if Arsenal turn up, and if he picks the right team, and I'll put this out there, if he picks the team that he's picked for the last two games, I will say Arsenal will beat them.
Mate, I agree. We beat them at home. I don't think anyone expected us to beat them because at the time they were flying. Yeah, and we were. And he sat back against us rather than doing what he's done all season and having a go at teams. He sat back. Yeah, and I remember speaking to Corey, and he said if we sit back against you lot, you'll beat us. Yeah, and they sat back and we beat them. I don't think they're going to do that at their ground. It's different at their ground. Yeah, their fans have actually been mad this season. Again, maybe that's because 2 years with no football, everyone's just enjoying actually being back at the games and actually appreciating it a little bit more, which is why all the stadiums are a little bit louder. Either that, or they're just turning it up a little bit on the TV. Yeah, we know they can do that. They can turn the volume of the crowd up. Yeah, so, but yeah, I think if we play like we've done in the last two games, we beat them. Yeah, regardless of what team they put out, I think we'll beat them. I do think they're going to rest a lot of their players. Yeah, especially Jared Bowen. I think he's the golden boy. He's the key. Maybe Declan Rice as well because he's been fantastic this season.
The thing is, I think Declan Rice will play in the back three. I think Declan Rice will play in the back three, and I think because if they ain't got no defenders, I think they're going to play like Masuaku as left wing back, and play Creswell in a back three with Declan Rice and maybe another. And they're still going to play, Johnson at right back or maybe Fredericks.
Ain't I'm sure Zoom played the other night.
Well, you Zoom, yeah, but they're going to save him for Thursday, so they're probably going to play. They're probably going to play Fredericks, White Rim back. They'll play Johnson, Declan Rice and Creswell, and they're going to play Maz Walker, and the midfield won't change. They're still going to have, or maybe they might even play Kofal, in maybe one of the right back positions, and probably just put Johnson in the back three. And then what will happen is that their midfield won't change. Souček will still play. Will definitely play. They're definitely going to. Maybe Mike Noble might get a game, but I think in terms of them trying to hit us with a bit of pace, I still think Antonio and Bowen want to play because let's face it, West Ham fans hate Spurs, but they don't like us too much. Jez will be the first one to tell you. Let's not forget it's an anniversary of when. Today is the anniversary when West Ham tried to take the North Bank, and one of our fans, rest in peace, John Dickinson, was murdered by those bastards in the ICF, and that's why I'm never going to have Cass Pennant. Cass Pennant, I'm not having you, mate. I think you're a disgrace as a person. You still go on talking about what you did to one of our fans with a lot of glee, selling your books about what you did to one of our fans. Not having you, Cass. Exactly. Not having you, mate. Not having you, Cass. You're a wrong 'un, mate. And the ICF are wrong 'uns, mate.
Well said, mate.
Rest in peace, John Dickinson.
Big up for saying that, Kenny, as well, because I don't think many people have even acknowledged that today either. I haven't seen any posts. I don't know if there is any posts. Yeah, only older people like yourself, with all due respect, would probably know about that. Obviously, I know about it through you guys as well. Yeah, and I actually mentioned that the other day to a West Ham fan. Yeah, and he's a West Ham fan, but he's not. He's a bit older. He's older. He's about a little bit older than Jez, I think. Yeah, and but he weren't involved in that era of going every week and getting in the firm and all of that. But even he knew about it. He knew about it.
It was wrong. It was wrong, and why that hasn't been condemned. But I've got a lot of time for West Ham fans and West Ham people. But in terms of like what happened, I'm never going to get by it. Get over that. The fact that it happened. I've got no problem with trying to take over each other's stands. Obviously Arsenal fans have tried getting a chicken run in the 80s and the 70s, and vice versa. Not a problem with that, but I think it went too far that day.
Yeah, the thing is, Kenny, it's the way they did it.
Yeah,
it was so cowardly. It was pure cowardice, and that was a dirty trick. That guy, that Cass, that made out all this bullshit about what happened back then, was a complete and utter fucking prick. Absolutely.
You got to keep up appearances though. Most of
the things that most of these people who write these books, a lot of it is just absolute and utter nonsense, and to get views. They're encouraged by their publishers to write some of these,
but he made a film about it. He made a film about it. Absolutely bullshit.
Yeah, mate, it's true. It's like, that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of these people, they have to keep up appearances. Yeah, and they live off of that reputation. So then when they do write a book, they have to keep up that appearance, don't they? Yeah, like no remorse, nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's fucked, isn't it? People are fucked, man. Seriously. But
let's put it right. Let's put it right. When that Cask had a gun put in his face, yeah, down in Dartford, he wasn't a big boy then, was he? When he when he had that gun stuck in his mouth, when he was working at that nightclub, yeah, or whatever it was, and then he tried to pull the big one. It didn't work, did it? Let's be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, give us some predictions for tomorrow, Jez. Give us your score prediction before we wrap this up, mate.
I am going to go a rich 2-0 Arsenal.
Nice. See? Negative League on a channel. Kenny, give us your prediction, mate.
You know what? I'm just going to be really, really pessimistic and go for a score draw, because I think one of the things about Arsenal is that this Arsenal team that your mate was talking about back in the day, we did tend to kill off teams who like put men behind the ball. But I think what's happened recently and fills me with pessimism is that when teams are very organised and they can defend, I think that's when we struggle, even with the sort of change of personnel. Because what's happening is right now is we've benefited from some gross schoolboy Colts mistakes in both games against Chelsea and Man United. I'm not convinced that West Ham are going to be that generous as Chelsea and Man United, but if they are, we're going to murder them. But seeing that I'm not convinced, I'm going for a score draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Interesting. This comment has got me thinking as well. Mikel Antonio up against Ben White. Oh my days, that's gonna get peak. I can't.
Well, Antonio's isn't be prolific. He's
no, but he's a nuisance. He's a nuisance.
What he will do, he would bring in their attacking players. You know, I'm sure that they're going to play players like Fornells, who's effective-ish, and Ben Rami's extremely effective on that left-hand side. So, I suppose, Tommy Asu's going to have his work cut of Ben Rama plays. But, West Ham are going to be on the front foot because I don't think their fans are going to have any other different, for me.
Especially this season. They've been good to watch this season at times as well.
Well, look, West Ham
semi is going to be on their mind, though, mate. Like Villarreal lost to Alaves today. Yeah,
it might be on their mind.
He rested the whole team for Liverpool on Thursday.
Well, the problem is that West Ham fans and West Ham players have got to be a problem. They're not playing Aston Villa, they're playing Arsenal, and this is a big scalp for them. They owe us one. So I'm going to be very, very cautious and not make any assumptions. Even when I see the team sheet, I make the assumptions after the first 10 minutes when we're battering them. But after that, no assumptions.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal. I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1. But I do think Tottenham will beat Leicester as well. So it'll be on to Leeds United after that, and then I think they've got Liverpool.
Well, see, Leicester, they've got a Rodma, haven't it?
Yeah, and they're 1-1 after that, so they're going to rest a few as well. So yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, Unai Emery rested pretty much the whole team. Yeah, he played Iborra in midfield today. Yeah, well, he ain't going to start against Liverpool.
Can you see Unai Emery getting 2 goals against Liverpool?
He obviously can. That's why he rested the team.
Well, if Moreno ain't playing, I don't see where the 2 goals are coming from.
No, I agree. Maybe Dan Juma can nick a goal, but I watched Liverpool against Newcastle today, and they rested a few. Salah was on the bench, and they weren't great today either. Newcastle should have had a couple of goals in that. But yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal. But yeah, we're going to end there, people. Tomorrow's a full match day program. Game kicks off at 4:30, Super Sunday. So I'll be live about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and going all the way through with the watch along, the call in, the fan cams, the player ratings, and
make sure you have an age restriction on your callings. Jesus Christ! You know what I mean?
Trust me, never
you
again.
You don't get much luck with 15-year-olds. You had a 15-year-old from the Atlantic who basically got you in a whole heap of trouble, and you had the 15-year-old trying to impress his dad's mates after the Chelsea match.
Yeah, mate, it's 18 plus now. Big up to Andy for the donation as well. Yeah, that washed up manager Ancelotti, first manager to win a title in all the 5 big leagues, mate. Mad, washed up apparently, not good enough for Arsenal, but we got Super Mick Arteta, mate. He knows exactly what we need. So let's see if he can get what we need and actually win the title. Oh yeah, we can't. And on that bombshell, people, Jez, what you got coming up, man?
Well, I'm going to be watching you tomorrow and watching the game and fan cams and everything like that. Probably drop the next part of the History Channel on Tuesday. Going to quickly move through the early start of the 20th century up to when we start to get good. And then Wednesday night, I've got the legend himself, Kenny Ken and Gracie on. And that will be brilliant. And at the end of the season, I'm hoping to get Leon. I know you're so busy, man.
Which Lee are you getting on?
man, then yeah, I can chill. I can't wait. It's been a long season, mate.
Yeah.
But Jez's channel is pinned to the comments, people. It's pinned to the live chat. So make sure you go and subscribe to his channel right now. And Kenny, you got any boxing podcasts coming up?
Well, not at all. Tomorrow I'm going to be in a London stadium in the away end.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one more thing. Sorry, because I know you've got to go because I'm hungry as well. But what I would say is that to anyone who says to me and Jez, go F off back to what to Tottenham. Well, on the 12th of May, we will be effing off to Tottenham because we're being away in, backing our boys there.
Yeah.
There you go. Big up to everyone who's watched live, everyone that's watched on playback, everyone who's watched on Facebook. Big up to all of the Facebook gang. Big up to everyone who's watched here. Big up to everyone who's put a comment in, liked, subscribed, donations, and all of that. Big up. Thank you very much. Lee, when will you finally do the 5-hour FA Cup video? Oh, you're trying to kill me, bro. I swear. 5 hours, you know. Bro, I can't talk football for 5 hours anymore, mate. Right, I'm done with this season, honestly. Yeah, we might have to do that at Christmas or something when the World Cup's on.
You'll be watching England. You'll be watching England winning the World Cup, won't you?
No, I won't be watching none of that crap, mate. I'll be sat. Well, actually, I might do some watch-alongs for it, but I don't know. We'll see. I might do it on the other channel. But yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow at R3. Maybe 4 o'clock, depends how I feel, depends how sunny it is. I need to go and put some after sun on my face because I'm redder than Jez's t-shirt. And Tone, big up for that donation, mate. Appreciate it. Big up to everyone who's watched as well. We're out of here. Arteta out.
You prick.
You prick.